we get to.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sex Talk with Dr. Volker and Dr. Clark. And today we are doing sex by the numbers, and we're up to number 8, the 8 types of intimacy. So this is a challenge. What are all the 8 types of intimacy, Dr. Volker?
It's one of my favorites, really one of my favorites, because most people think intimacy is about sex. And sex is only one type of intimacy, which means even children can have intimacy of other kinds, and teenagers, if they're not having sex, or adults, if they're not having sex, they can have intimacy. So the first one is affection. Affection intimacy. How do you show affection? That doesn't mean you have to have sex. All right? Affection. And there's different ways, verbal, nonverbal, so many ways to show affection on a daily basis. What do someone likes to receive and give, which might be different too, and understanding that. Then there's affection, social intimacy, who we like to hang around, and who do we like to connect with, social intimacy. Again, does not mean if somebody goes out and hangs around with somebody or is on a date, that doesn't mean they have to have sex. They might be enjoying the social intimacy. Emotional intimacy is sharing our feelings and who we are. And it takes very trusted people to give and receive emotional intimacy and to hold that. And for some people, that may be their counselor, may be the only person they tell emotional intimacy to. However, it's very important to have some people you can share and trust with your emotional feelings. So we have affection, social, emotional. Then there's physical. Physical does not mean sex, okay? It means doing things together. Hiking, biking, cooking, shopping, whatever it is, swimming, whatever it is that you're doing physically together, and you really feel connected with that as well. And then there's one called spiritual. Now, spiritual might be religious, sharing of that type of intimacy, or it could be saving whales. What politically, where we're the same or different? What we want to save the world. And so sometimes people, cleaning up the beaches, all right, or recycling, or whatever it is, or saving furry babies, all right, is that kind of spiritual intimacy can be in there. And it's important for people to share what's important for them. Then there's one called aesthetic intimacy, which is not your butt. The teenagers call it the ass thing. No, it's aesthetic means sharing something beautiful. And it could be art, music, again, 2-legged or 4-legged babies. And so those are important things about sharing something, sunrises, some sets, okay, whatever it is, that's aesthetically beautiful to people. And then I think we're on number 8. Affection, social, emotional, physical, spiritual, aesthetic. I think we're on number 8.
Did we do intellectual?
Oh, see, thank you, Dr. Clark. Intellectual intimacy, you are right. Intellectual means, I call it brain orgasms. Some people have to have intellectual connection and arousal, all right, to be connected with. And so intellectual intimacy does not necessarily mean that I need to have sex. And so the last one, not the least, is sexual. However, when I like to find out about people and their intimacies, what is really important of these 8 that is important to them? It doesn't have to be 50-50, but you want to know that about self and the other or a family member. And it doesn't mean sex has to happen to be intimate. So when I go into schools And we ask students, what do they share? Oh, so I am intimate. Yes, yes. And you are and can be in many different ways. And it isn't only about sex. So there they are, the 8 types of intimacy. I call, by the way, when students ask about what is sex, I call sharing your public and private parts. Could be verbal, it can be physical, but there it is.
The ways that I use these 8 types of intimacy in counseling is I like to tell people that if they are using sex to be intimate, it's going to be a dead end because then it just stops with that. So instead, let's be intimate, and then sex is one way to express intimacy, and let's build these other ways to be intimate. And so one of the things for homework I give people, and so I challenge all of you at home, think about this. How are you intimate with a partner that you call your intimate partner? And in which of these ways are you already intimate? And which ways maybe you could work on a little bit more? So,
yay, sign language for yay. Yeah.
Social, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, physical, I would say physical / recreational. Build all those things so you really experience the intimacy, and then whatever you do sexually turns into an intimate experience. So it's not about what you do, how you do it, any specific body parts. It's about that sexual sharing and expression of intimacy that will really strengthen your relationship.
Absolutely. And by the way, that is exactly over the years too. You can start out by sharing, and in different decades of a relationship, if one is so blessed to have those decades, is that would be good. It's like evaluating in business. You evaluate in business on a regular basis. And so therefore, evaluating your relationship and what we want to work on is very important. And you have to have something, a guideline. And that's why I love these 8 types of intimacy. Absolutely.
Thank you.